Today's daf is daf mem beis. We are going to begin on daf mem beis amud aleph by Tanya Yidach. Tanya Yidach was taught in another brisa with regards to the pasuk. Bal asher naki, says the owner of the ox shall be free, it shall be clean, clear. Basically, Eimer, or basically says, what the pasuk means to say, naki midmei vladis, it should be clear from paying compensation for miscarried offsprings. In other words, if a shir tam causes a woman to miscarry, the owner is not chayav to pay half the compensation for the miscarried child. Rabbi Akiva says, "How do you aimer ki natzanashim avul for isha?" It's unnecessary to teach this pasuk because the Torah says, with regards to compensation for miscarried offsprings, if men struggle and hurt a pregnant woman, and their offspring emerge and there's no tragedy, so the pasuk says he shall be punished as the husband or the woman shall impose upon him, and he shall give as the judge determines. From which we learn in Anoshim that the men who causes a woman to miscarry are chayav to pay compensation for the offsprings, but the owner of the oxen who caused a woman to miscarry is not chayav. So where it says Shapar coming Rabbi Akiva is saying, well, he states a reasonable objection. Well, Rabbi immediately respond. So Amar Rabbi Idi, he says, it's if necessary for the pasuk to teach this. So that because you would think that men are hired to pay compensation for miscarried offspring, or the owner of oxen that are comparable to men is not chayav. Anoshim. So in other words, like this: Ma anoshim mu'adim ashvarim mu'adim. Just as men are considered mu'adim, so to oxen are considered mu'adim. But in the case of a tam, it would be chayav. Because of one of Bala Sharoki, therefore the Torah writes the owner of the ox should be clear to put that it's butter. Amar Rava says, Yatsiva ba'aro v'giyur b'shmei shmaya. The native is on the ground and the stranger is in the heavens. Suggestion, Acheda says here the principle of the halacha of a mu'id, ox is more stringent than a shir tam. Amar Rava says, Yitzrach. It's necessary to teach the exemption, as otherwise, you would think, Anoshim, you would say that only men are chayav for miscarried offspring, but the owner of oxen that are comparable to men is not chayav. So just as Anoshim are mudin, so do shvarim, the time of the petiri, and via kavachimer for time to be potter, Naki, therefore the Torah writes, Bal Asher Naki, Tam Potter, that a Tam is Potter, and Moed Chayav ben Amud will be Chayav. Over there, Abaya says, Elamata, if this is so, then Elamata, so if this is true, Gabi Beishas Nami, Neim Mahochi, with regard to compensation for Beishas, for humiliation, which the pasuk says, as we said, when two men struggle together, a man and his brother struggle, and the wife of the one drew near to deliver the husband from the hand of the one who hits him, extends her hand, and grabs his avir. So the din is, let us say, only men are hired to pay for baishas, but the owner of the oxen are comparable to men is not chayav. Letamin liptiri. Now the Gemara says, if you're going to say indeed that the halach is according to basically, so then at least they let the bride teach you the regard to the pasuk. While the owner of the ox should be clear. Basically, he says that he's potter from compensation for miscarried offspring and for paying compensation for baishas. Rabbi then retracted this explanation, or basically his opinion. Elo, Abaya rather Abaya both say, Anoshim, pasuk says, men, ain't asim b'ishim yonshu, if there's no harm caused to the woman, she's not killed. It shall be punished financially. Even though there's also in yonshu, when a Baal Sherok is deported. Is this to say that the issue of financial liability is dependent on whether or not there was harm caused by the woman? But it's clearly dependent on the intent to strike the woman. That Anoshim With regards to men, in the case where they intend to strike each other, even though there's harm caused to the woman, she dies, they shall be punished. But when they intend to strike the woman herself, they should not be punished financially, as they are going to receive misa, or court-imposed capital punishment for the beis din. But the distinction does not apply with regards to oxen. Even if they intend to strike the woman herself, their owner shall be punished. So, therefore the Torah writes, the owner of the ox shall be clear, the ptiri, to teach that the owners are exempt from paying compensation for miscarried offsprings. When Chagi came from the south, he came and brought the price in his hand and interprets the pasuk in accordance with the explanation of Rabbi Abba. It was taught another price with regard to the pasuk, the owner of the ox shall be clear. Rabbi Kiva says that the statement teaches that if a tam kills a eved kanani, its owner shall be clear. Noki may eved, clear from paying compensation for the slave. Unlike the case of a muad that killed a kanani, where the ox owner is chayiv. Now, the Gemara asks, Rabbi Kiva and Asher, but let Rabbi Kiva say to himself the same objection that he raised against Rabbi Elazar's interpretation, that the owner of the tam is exempt from paying half a kafir. So why is it necessary for the pasuk to teach this? But isn't compensation for damage caused by a tam itself paid only from the value of its body? Therefore, the owner can tell the slave's owner, bring it to the beis din, and you'll be paid for it. Since the ox or stone, there's basically nothing to collect. Rabbi Kiva's interpretation is applicable in a case where its owner shechted it first before it's sent as a stoning. So you would say, it will say, let the slave's owner should be paid from the value of the flesh. Therefore, the Torah teaches us, since the ox subject to be killed, half of the shechti, although its owner shechted it, the slave's owner should not be paid for it. According to Rabbi Elazar as well, because it should be explained as referring to the case where the owner shechted it first. So the Gemara says, indeed, Rabbi Elazar's interpretation also be explained in this manner. Somewhere here, and Rabbi Kiva raised the objection because of the reason. Perhaps Rabbi Elazar has another explanation that is better than this one. And we'll state it. Rabbi Elazar did in fact respond with another explanation. We're asked for Rabbi Elazar, but let Rabbi Elazar also answer him that the owner shechted it first. Why did he offer a different explanation? Rabbi Elazar could have said to you too, I can tell you, specifically the other case that Rabbi Elazar referred to the explanation then where the ox intended to kill another animal but killed the person instead. Since the ox is not subject to be killed at all, so the chayiv would enter your mind that he should be chayiv to pay half a ransom from the ox's body. It's your cholamuti. Therefore, the pasuk is necessary to exclude the owner from liability to pay half the ransom. But here, since initially it was subject to be killed, a pasuk is not necessary. Even though it was shechted. Or ask Rabbi Kiva Nami about the Hachi. According to Rabbi Kiva, certainly is so. He says the above explanation of Rabbi Kiva's interpretation should be rejected, as I heard from the following statement from a great man. Mani, who is this? Basically, Rabbi Kiva says, Rabbi Kiva says, he says that even a shaitan that injured a person also pays full damage of the damage with regard to the difference. So you would say that he pays compensation for the slave is paid from the superior quality property. Therefore the Torah is Baal Shanaki. Oh, and it was Ravasi, but Rabbi Kiva Zizi. Didn't Rabbi Kiva already break the force of the fist? In other words, to qualify the opinion of his. The Tag Rabbi Kiva, you would think you pay from the superior quality. Therefore the Torah says, according to the judgment shall be done to him. Migufa Mishalim, which he pays from the body of the ox, but not from the superior property. You would say that since the Torah is, since referring to the Torah, I'm more strict with regard to an ox that kills a person in the case of Avikani than in the case of because as in the case of the freeman worth one sell the ox, nice to sell inflation, nice inflation. Gives 30. He also paid payment to the slave should be paid from the owner of superior quality property. Because of one of Baal Shanaki, for the terrorist Baal Shanaki. Tanya can say that the Rava, the Baal Shanaki, the Kibbutz Naki with me Eved, he should be clear from the payment of the Eved Khan. Ali Dinu, and here is a couple of him, since the Torah deemed the Chayav to pay for killing of a slave and killing of the Eved Chayden, Masher Ma Tishachiyah Ben Chayden, just as when the Torah deemed him liable for freemen, Chilaktim ben Talmud, you made a difference between Talmud, after Tishachiyah Ben Eved, so too, Christ Eved, Nechalak ben Talmud, it makes a difference between Talmud. Furthermore, the Allah could be proven as well. If, in the case of a Ben Chayden, Shleis and Kol Shobi, where the owner gives his full value, Chilaktim ben Talmud, you may distinguish between ben Talmud. In the case of Evish, only 30 ain't a condition after ben Talmud. Is it not logical that we should distinguish between Talmud? So we can reject this being like, no. One could disagree and say the opposite. I'm more stricter with regard to the case of a slave man than with regards to Ben Chayden. With regards to a free man worth one sell and nice and sell, the case of Eved, the case of a slave, even if it's worth one selah, he gives 30. You think of Eved, he's clear from the paying the compensation of the slave. With regards to a Eved, a shade wood, says, but if the ox was goring an ox in time and past, and a warning has been given to its owner, and he has not secured it, plus it says, and it killed a man or a woman. So he asks, what does this come to teach us? If it's telling me that the killing of a woman, just as a killing for a man, so how you cried Emmerich, you get straight as Isha already says that. Rather it's telling me compare a man to a woman. Woman to man, ma Isha Nizak and the Yership, just as with regards to a man, payment for its injuries paid to the Yership of Isha, so too with regards to a woman. So Nizakel, the Yership, payment for injuries is paid to the Yership and not to her husband. And we're asked to Sarah Kiva like Yoris Baal, Kiva all that the husband does not inherit it at all, but tiny within the rights of Yership Esau shall inherit it. From here we see that a husband inherits from his wife. Kiva. Or Shalabi says, Omar Allah B'Kefer. Kiva says that the Yershim got a husband to receive the payment only with regards to the ransom. Since it's paid only after Misa, and it's fit, and the husband does not take inheritance of the property due to the deceased as he does the property she possesses. My time, what's the reason? Our problem is Isha, assure yourself about care for your shazalov. There it says that killed a man or a woman, the ox shall be stoned, and its owner shall be put to death. For ransom is laid upon it. So mashma that the owner's liability to pay ransom is dependent on the ox's liability to be stoned, which in turn applies only after the death of the victim. We're asked what is up in Rabbi Kiva with regards to damages. Did Rabbi Kiva not say that damage due to a wife are paid for the Yershim, not for her husband? Tanya with nins and talk hikas isha if struck the woman and her offspring is emerged due to the miscarriage. So the thing is, as in that's with child isha, he gives compensation for the damage and the pain for the woman. But the mabel is the ball and the compensation for the miscarried offspring of the husband. To the husband, I'm sorry. With the mabel is the ball. Ein bal, if the husband is not alive, nesli yershav, he gives the compensation for the offsprings. Ein isha, nesanas the yershav. If the woman is not alive, he gives the payment to the yershav. If she was a counting mitzvah and that she was free by gears, or she became gears, zachar, she gains. In any event, it's explicitly stated that the bride said that the beneficiary of the compensation due to her including that which would have been received during their lifetime, not her husband's, but with her Yershim. Rabbi B'Grisha, surprised refers to the divorcee. Since they got divorced, the husband does not inherit. Only the Chum said in response, if she's a divorcee, she should also share in the compensation for the miscarried offsprings. So Amar Rapapa, Terah Tzich made blood is the Baal for the Baal Allah business. Terah awarded the payment of compensation for miscarried offspring to the husband, even if he is not actually her legal husband, but rather engaged in business. My time as a reason or krok, as the husband of the woman shall impose upon her. Says much from the damage are not collected by the woman, but by the man who engaged in Leo, for impregnating her. Therefore, if they got divorced, the ex-husband receives the payment. Let us establish the bias according to Rabbi is referring to a case where they collected money for the damage and pain. According to Nachman, where they collect the land. To Amar Rabba, okay, we'll do this tomorrow.